This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. I'm delighted to be joined by John Rawling. We're here today at Windsor Park in Belfast at the Carl Frampton Luke Jackson announcement press conference. How are you, John?
I'm very well, thank you, and thoroughly looking forward to this as well. You know, I mean, you look around this place, Windsor Park, it's been done out brilliantly, hasn't it? It used to be a bit of a slum here, but you come here now and it's a terrific stadium. And this is a stadium which is going to be absolutely ideal for a big boxing event such as that we're going to get on August the 18th. It's going to be good.
I mean, it seems quite odd to be in such an empty stadium knowing what's going to happen on August the 18th. This place is going to be packed. The Belfast crowd obviously love their boxing. Just try and sum up, if you can, what kind of atmosphere we're going to be seeing on August the 18th.
Well, it's a small, compact stadium for a start, so you're going to get something like 24,000 here, including those who are on the pitch. There isn't a bad seat in the place. Wherever you're sitting, you're going to be able to see it wonderfully well. And Belfast is such a boxing city. You know, I always say to people, if you're going to go to one show in the UK, go to a show in Belfast, because people here really get boxing. And Carl's a massive star over here, Paddy as well, immensely popular. And add to that Tyson Fury, it's going to be very special, a committed, passionate but also very knowledgeable crowd. It's got all the ingredients for something very good.
Let's just talk about the main event. Carl Frampton facing Luke Jackson. Not the marquee name that many people would have liked to see, but still somebody who's unbeaten, extensive amateur career. What kind of threat does he pose to Carl Frampton? Well,
it's a dangerous one, isn't it? You know, he's come here, you only need to look at the man. I'm sure you've formed your own opinion. You only need to look at the man to see that he's walking around in great shape. He's a tough guy. He's got a good amateur pedigree. He was captain of the Australian Olympic team in 2012, actually roomed with Jeff Horn, the guy who beat Manny Pacquiao last year. He's a very popular guy back home in Australia, and he's undefeated. He's coming into this fight having never tasted defeat as a professional, with all that amateur experience as well. And this is his big opportunity, and for that reason you always have to respect guys like that. And if Carl's looking past him, you know, he's got big fights beyond this, but if he looks past him, that would be a very dangerous, misguided thing to do, because this guy is tough.
Last time we were in Belfast, we saw Carl Frampton defeat Nonito Donaire. A marked improvement from the fight against Horatio Garcia in his first fight under Frank Warren. How much more do you think he's got to give, and what do you think of him going into this fight on the back of 2 wins in the last 6 or 7 months?
Well, his comeback fights, I think probably after time out of the ring, and also the business of the Barry McGuigan split perhaps playing on his mind. I thought that was not a particularly good performance from Carl, and I think he made pretty heavy weather of it. But the fight against Nonito Donaire, you know, if you take Leo Santa Cruz out of the equation as his best performance when he beat him first time up, I think Nonito Donaire was right up there. I thought it was a mature, disciplined performance from Carl, and an outstanding boxing performance against a man who, okay, he's 35, but still a very accomplished fighter.
And yes, we've got Paddy Barnes challenging for the WBC flyweight title against Cristofer Rosales. Rosales coming off the back of that sensational upset against Diego Higa, who was consensus #1 in the division. How dangerous an opponent is that for Paddy Barnes?
Well, you've almost answered your own question there, haven't you? I mean, he's beaten the guy who everybody around boxing looked at as being the top flyweight. Okay, he didn't make the weight, did he? The Japanese guy. So he was clearly struggling to make flyweight. But having said that, you know, Rosales, 23 years old, tough, pressure fighter, come forward, and Paddy will not have to go looking for him. This might turn out to be the fight of the night. Paddy Barnes, masses of experience, accomplished fighter, very good technically, but is he going to be strong enough? Is he going to be tough enough to keep this guy off? It's going to be a fascinating one.
How important is the crowd going to be in that fight? Because obviously he's going in against somebody, and it's a very tough fight. How big of a difference could this Windsor Park crowd make?
The Windsor crowd's going to be big for him. You know, Paddy feeds off that. He is that sort of fighter. He's an exciting fighter, but he's also quite an emotional guy. You know, and he'll love the fact that he's here sharing top billing with his great mate Carl Frampton. They go back just forever. They're, you know, absolutely in each other's pockets as mates. They're so close, and I think it'll mean a huge amount to him to be sharing top billing here. And the Belfast crowd, they look at him as one of their own, don't they? And they'll be willing him home, and they'll be a big factor in his favour.
And just lastly, Tyson Fury, the second bout of his comeback. What can we take from his fight against Sefer Seferi? Obviously attracted a lot of criticism for the fact that it wasn't the most competitive of fights. Now, I don't think anybody expected him to come in and fight a top 5 or top 10 guy. How important is it that he steps up the opposition in this fight?
Tyson was nervous. I don't think he really admitted it at the time, but he has done subsequently. I think he was really on edge going into that ring on the comeback, and I think he covered that by fooling around. I think it was the clowning was there to disguise a little bit of an insecurity. But he'll be there now wanting a bigger man, somebody who's more of a threat, and somebody who's going to hopefully bring more out of him than he showed against Seferi. He needs somebody who puts a little bit of a fear factor into him. He needs somebody who's actually going to make him reach back into that huge well of talent that we know that he has. And I think he'll have been hurt a little bit by the social media backlash against him, which was a bit unfair, I have to say, because he had to put his foot back into the water at some stage, didn't he? And you couldn't expect him to go straight back in against a world beater after 2 years and 7 months. But it'll be a step up in class this time, and he'll see it as something that he'll need to get behind him, and it's another step along the way towards what he hopes next year will be a chance to reclaim former glories, maybe.
Okay, well, John Rawling, we're going to end it there because it looks like it's about to rain. Welcome to Belfast. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to catching up with you soon.
My pleasure, mate. No problem.